Welcome to Shul.com. We are learning in the Gemara Rabbenu Hananel, and I told you guys we should spend just a few minutes to know who is this Rabbenu Hananel. You know, he's in a lot of Gemaras. He's on the side. He made it to the page, so he's got to have some significance. We're actually going to find out he's a very, very important commentary on the Gemara. Let's look at Rabbenu Hananel bar Chushiel. So his father was Chushiel, and it says here that his Rashi Tevot was Rach, Resh Het. That was his short term that he had. He was born 965. He died in 1055. He was Hayarav u Posek. He was a rabbi. Posek Halacha mi Parshanei Talmud. He was obviously a commentary on the Talmud that we see. Mechochmei Yisrael haboltim bereshit tikufat harishonim. He was from the beginning of the Rishonim. Imken yesh me'acharonim sheyachshivu leGaon. Some people classify him as a Gaon also because of his years and obviously his work. Pirusho Talmud hu harishon misugo she'imsa biyadenu. His pirush on the Gemara is one of the oldest ones that is in our possession today. Okay, let's look at his biography. Motze Mishpachto me'Italia. He was originally Italian. Valkin le'itim u'mechana Rabbenu Hananel ish Romi. That was another name they gave him. Ach kechol hanir'eh b'tziorato hegerim aviv Rabbenu Chushiel lived with his father in a place called Kiruan shebe'Afrika hatzfonit, northern Africa, Tunisia shel Yamenu. All right, so that's where it would be. Yedua ki lamad limudim klalim. He studied other works of knowledge, historia v'safot. He knew languages, bi'ikar Aravit v'Yevanit. So he spoke Arabic, he spoke Greek, he spoke Hebrew, he spoke Aramite, and he spoke Italian. At least 5 languages that we can deduce thus far, probably much more. Haya Ashir, he was very rich, v'nechbad b'kilato, very respected. Haya Nasui, married, v'noldu lo 9 banot. He had 9 girls, no boys. Rabbenu Hananel kiyem hitkatvut im rashe yeshivot Bavel. He wrote letters to the big yeshivot, probably to Sura and Pumbedita in Bavel. V'hem eniku lo et hatoar rosh bei Rabbanan. They called him the head of the rabbis. Okay, let's take a look. Talmidav, who was student Derif, which is Rabbenu al-Fashti. Bnei Doro, who lived in his generation, Rav Nisim Gaon, Rav Hai Gaon, and Rabbi Shemuel HaNagid. And from what are some of the books that he wrote? He wrote a Perush to the Talmud, he wrote a Bi'ur on the Torah, and he has a bunch of Teshuvot, Hilchatiyot, like shoots. Okay. Perusho the Talmud. Rabbenu Hananel hu rishon shechibet perush lerov Talmud Bavli. He's one of the first rabbis that wrote a perush on the Talmud. Chelek mimenu avad. Part of it is missing. Chelek michtevei hayad nimsu b'shanim acharonot. Recently, some more of his writings are being found now. HaPerush mitafyan le'itim kerovot gam kazeh shenoad lepsok halacha. He gives you a lot of the bottom lines. HaPerush hu al shlosha sedarim. He wrote on 3 specific sedarim of the Mishnayot, Moed, Nashim, and Nezikin. Okay? V'chen al masechtot she'oskot b'inyanim shenoagim b'zman hazeh. His focus was on things that are pertinent to today's day and age. HaPerush nitpas b'mechtav vatikin. Chtav yad vatikin. It's based on an old handwritten text. כמו כן מוזכר פעמים רבות בחידושי הרמב"ן, נחמני ובתוספות בשם הרח. He says he's actually found in the Tosafot and the Ramban and a bunch of their pirushim, which is nice. ופעמים שהוא מדלג הדור בפסוקה וכותב שאר כל שמה פשטחי. He writes a lot of the bottom lines when in his pirush. בנוסף הפירוש מתמקד בתרגום מארמית לעברית. He translates a lot of the Aramaic to Hebrew. The itimu ma'ati girsa acheret lesugya. Sometimes he writes a different sugya completely than our Gemara. You'll read it and doesn't even match. Girsato nechshevet la'amina umeduyeket. It's a very trustworthy and an accurate perush that he has. Okay, let's see. Many times it says here that he would compare the Talmud Bavli to the Talmud Yerushalmi, and he would not allow the arguments between the two. It says here, he would say that they were, when you see the Yerushalmi and the Babli, sometimes it looks like they're arguing with each other, and the Gemara says they're not. It's just one is a supplement to the other, and he would work to put them and fit them both and to fuse them together. Lerov, kasher Gemara menaseh lahamid sugya kol shehi, Rabbenu Hananel eno kotev et ha'amadot, shintuchu ela rak et ha'maskana sofit. And a lot of the Gemaras, he just gives you the bottom lines, so you can understand where you are. Keminhag Gaonei Bavel uperesh et ha'agadot be'ofen. It says here, Venelitisti. What is that? Relevant. What is that we're saying?
Say it again.
Look at it in Hebrew. Here.
Where?
That's a nice milado azit.
Oh, rational.
Retziyono litzisti.
Rational, being rational.
Say it in Hebrew.
Razionali.
Yeah, it says rationalisti over here. Interesting. Okay, okay. So he whenever he saw the agadot, he would make them as mishadim. Oh, and make them relevant. Okay. He has a perush on the Torah. Yadua sheRabbenu Hananel katav perush LaTorah, achu avad velo yadua harbe odotav. He has a perush on the Torah, but we don't have all of it. Nishanu mimenu keta'im meparashanim shonim shetzituhu. So he says here that we don't have Rabbenu Hananel's perush on the Torah, but we do have other mefarshim that mentioned his perush that they had access to. So we have parts of it from there. Haramban, Nachmani, Rabbenu Bachya, and Derashot ibn Shu'ab. ועוד. וכן בגניזת קהיר, in the Cairo גניזה, בלקט פירושיו נתפס במדורת תורת חיים שבהוצאת מוצאת הרב קוק. So he says here there is a book that started to print it. בפירושו הוא מביא גם את פירוש הרס"ג רב סעדיה גאון ורב שמואל בן חופני בדברי האגדה. Okay, it's talking about the book there. יש יחסו Rabbenu Hananel et Sefer HaMiksoot veSefer Chafetz. So there's two other books that they said Rabbenu Hananel wrote. אך חוקרים הוכיחו כי החיבור לא נתקבל על ידו אלא על ידי חכמים מבית מדרשו. They found at the end that it wasn't really him who wrote it, but it could have been other rabbis in his Beit Midrash that he was in. So interesting. Baruch Hashem. We have a lot of writings are coming out, and a lot of stuff, a lot of new texts are being scanned. There's a lot of things out in the archives. And in many universities and in private collections, but they're not scanned. And recently, a lot of things have been starting to become scanned, so we're getting more of the old stuff now. You can check a lot of the stuff. I look on HebrewBooks.org, on Ortzara Chochma, and there's a lot of really good sites. I use a lot of times the Vatican Archive websites, the ones of Oxford University. There's a bunch in Spain. They have different areas have Ketifat HaRambam or the Gaon of Vilna. I found one in Israel recently of the Gaon of Vilna. I was looking up, someone mentioned something of like Gog Magog, and I was looking up the whole thing, and he mentions the Gaon of Vilna wrote it. I couldn't find it in any of the printed books, so I actually found the handwritten text of the Gaon of Vilna, and I just checked it there. I didn't see it there, and so I became very confident to tell him that I don't know where it was originally quoted from. It was just like a matter, because sometimes there's like this broken telephone kind of thing where someone hears something, he teaches it and goes over and over and over, and you don't know where it actually came from. Sometimes it's a Mesorah, halakha Moshe Sinai, but most of the times it's not. So that's it. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen v'amen.